Hello caffeine fiends and welcome to another coffee review for www.getbean.com. I'm Vince, the Mean Bean Machine, and today we're looking at HR Higgins Coffee Man Limited Colombia Supreme. Now, for those of you who are regular viewers will know I reviewed these not these lovely beans, but beans from HR Higgins before, because they are a provider of coffee to the royal households. I believe they probably provide tea as well to the royal households. However, I know they provide coffee to the royal households. So they've got, a royal seal of approval that they've got there on their back pack. And I tried their Pacamara Colombian beans. These are also Colombian. Can be harvested more than, several times a year. So yeah, I tried the Pacamara ones, which I was really impressed with. And there's a certain luxuriantness about them. They're very, very kind of rich and luxuriant. So I can sort of see why they are associated with the Royal Seal, why they would, be approved by the royal households, because they're very rich and there's something posh about them. And you get that with the coffee, so serving that to guests at Balmoral or Buckhouse is going to give that rich upper crust ideal. They're not necessarily my favourite beans, but they are really good beans, and I did really enjoy Pacamara. I'm just saying that they've got a luxuriant feel, so there's a real richness to them. So we're going to see if Colombia Supreme are, as luxuriant, if all their beans are as, have that richness about them. What I know about the notes is that it specifically says rich, so I expect this to be, pretty damn rich, to be honest. So on that, no, the tasting notes were passion fruit, blackcurrant, and with a rich dark chocolate finish. So passion fruits come up. I would imagine it's a lot like pomegranate, very sweet, very acidic. Well, actually, no, not that acidic, but there will be that kind of exotic fruit tone to it. Blackcurrant is interesting, so it's berry tone, kind of berry acidity maybe is there, but more on the darker side. I must say this is a dark roast. It is specifically a dark roast, so I think that's why it's blackcurrant more than, say, another berry, another strawberry or cherry or those sort of berries. I don't think it's as sweet and acidic. I think it's going to complement the richness of the passion fruit. And it says a dark chocolate finish, which it specifically says finish, so there'll be a smoothness, but possibly a little kind of catch at the back of the throat. So very interesting stuff. What I'm also interested by is that it says they recommend this as a pour over or a filter coffee rather than an espresso coffee. And it's been an age since I've done a pour over or a filter coffee, predominantly because I'm not that great at them. But you've got to, keep trying these things to get better. And I haven't done one for a while, so we're going to try this as a pour over and hope that it all goes well. Touch wood. So we'll grind it up and give it a go as a pour over rather than our usual espresso shot and latte, and we'll see how that goes for us, and then really we'll compare as best we can with the espresso one that we did. And it's not entirely fair, but we'll bounce those notes back and forth and kind of say, well, let's look at how I preferred the other one to this one. But ultimately, I'm expecting quite a rich, smooth, dark experience, because it will be a black coffee in this case anyway. We'll grind up and see how it goes. Now, this was a gift, so I don't know the exact price, but off the top of my head, I think it's $10.75, about $10.75 for a bag of this. I will double check that, and it will appear on screen as the price that I've checked it as, for 250 grams. So yeah, I think it's around 11 quid a bag. Not bad going. Not the cheapest, but that's because you've got a royal seal. Also, I know they've just moved their roastery recently, so hopefully they've kept up their kind of quality. So like I say, we'll give this a go as a pour over, see how it pans out. So there we have our pour over. By no means the best pour over in the world. It's not my area of expertise. I will concede. I'm not the best at pour overs. However, that is what we've got. I'm quite happy with that. On a personal level, considering my skill level with the pour over and the equipment I've got. I haven't got all the best equipment for a pour over. Anyway, I think this smells fantastic. The blackcurranty scent is coming off a bit. There's a richness. I expect it to be quite rich, quite bold, but I think that darkness will really come through. So I'm hoping for a nice smooth finish. I don't think it will necessarily be there, but I'm hoping for. So obviously it's not, hasn't got the crema, hasn't got the oiliness of an espresso. So I'm really wondering how that smoothness will manifest itself. And how balanced it will be. So it's interesting for me. I don't do a lot of pour overs, but we'll give this a go, see what we think. It smells brilliant. It smells, like warm blackcurrant. I mean, not literally, of course, but there's a sense of that that's really kind of pleasant. Here we go. Ooh, that's not quite what I expected. Not quite what I expected at all, but it's not as if I don't like it. So that blackcurrant tone is definitely there. That richness is there. That there's not a lot of acidity that I can really pick out, but there's a really rich kind of fruitiness of the blackcurrant there. It is smooth. It is a very nice smooth finish. There's no kind of clutching or clawing at the throat, which is something I don't. I expect a bit of roughness from a black coffee, even pour overs, and that's not there at all, which is brilliant. And I think again that's what I meant about that kind of luxuriant kind of. Everything is so smooth with HR Higgins. They know what they're doing. But yeah, none of their blends have a real roughness. I say none of their blends. This is the second one I've tried, and it's not a blend. Single origin, it's Colombia. But none of their, there is no roughness to either of the two I've tried. So, and that's interesting. Both the espresso and the pour over have that real smoothness. So that's really impressive in terms of how they've roasted that. I do not have a lot of pour overs because I, tend to find them not as smooth, don't have the same kind of creamy mouthfeel that I really like. And obviously this isn't creamy, but the smooth richness is there. And I'm, that's the sort of thing that would sway me if someone went, "Do you want a pour over?" I'd be like, "Meh." And if they went, "Well, it's actually this," I'd go, "Oh yeah, go on," because that is really nice, really nice. Now my issue here is because I don't have a lot of pour overs, I'm going to have to kind of piece together, a review out of that and kind of be like, well, where do I place this in terms of espressos that I've reviewed, in terms of what I know of pour overs. I have had pour overs. I'm not a complete novice, but but like I say, the smooth fruitiness is definitely there, but that dark undertone, that kind of rich chocolate undertone, I'd say is the prevailing kind of wind of taste. And then there's kind of this fruitiness sits at the front of the tongue, and then this kind of just smooth dark chocolate just at the back, just adding a richness. So you kind of got that sweet and rich and kind of gooey and and I'd happily just sit there and kind of, a nice brownie or something and be like, this is me done for the day. Like, blow. That's my day, in a nutshell. Cake and coffee, and actually, the more I think about it, the more I'm enjoying this coffee. Which means I'm going to have to start doing a pour over in my coffee break at work rather than an espresso. So, I wonder how I'm going to manage that. Anyway, yeah. Well, I don't think it's going to switch me from espresso particularly, but if there were a coffee to do it, it may well be this one. And I like a black coffee from time to time, just to change things up. You know, variation is the spice of life. And I think for pour over likers, lovers, filter coffee lovers, this might be your man. But I'm going to go away and finish this, have a think, see where it falls into the pantheon of coffees that I've tried, and see what I think, see what I can glean from my pour over. In the meantime, why don't you hit those like and subscribe buttons, and I'll come back to you with some thoughts. Another high scorer for HR Higgins Coffee Man. I give it 4 stars today because I am really impressed by it, and I'm not pour over drip filter person, so I produce this via my V60 drip filter 1075, which is about the way prices are going. It's got that richness and luxuriantness even for a black coffee, a standard black coffee. So has a very clean, refreshing feel. Actually, it's not got that kind of really kind of heavy richness to it. But despite its richness, that it's very kind of clean and kind of that's really smooth. The fruitiness really comes through, and there's a smooth feel to it with no roughness, and it's just that kind of rich chocolate finish that makes it rich. But yeah, the fruitiness is really the main note there. So 4 stars from me. Another high scorer for HR Higgins, knocking it out of the park really for me. So thank you very much for watching. Do like and subscribe again, and check us out at www.getbean.com for more coffee videos. Thanks a lot, take care, and bye bye.